everyone, in this video we talk about the anatomy of the heart as the right and the left side of the heart. The right side of the heart where the deoxygenated blood is circulating, and the left side of the heart where the oxygenated blood is circulating. Okay, let's start with this part here. This part is known as superior vena cava. Superior vena cava. And this part is called the inferior vena cava, and inferior vena cava is the largest vein in our body, and both the superior and inferior vena cava carry the deoxygenated blood and they draw their content in the right atrium. And you see this part here, this is the aorta and these are the branches of the aorta, and this is the arc. So this part is the arc of aorta, and this part here, this part of the aorta supply oxygenated bloods to upper part of our body, and this is also the branch of the aorta, and it later is divided into lower portion of our body and it carry the oxygenated bloods to the lower portion of our body. And this part here, this is the pulmonary artery which is going in the right and the left. As it is in a right, so it is the right pulmonary artery. And pulmonary artery are only the artery in our body which carry the deoxygenated blood, as we are not talking about the fetal circulation. And this is the left pulmonary artery. And this part here, this part are the pulmonary vein. As it is in a right, so it is the right pulmonary vein. And pulmonary vein are only the vein in our body which carry the oxygenated blood, pulmonary vein. And this is the left pulmonary vein. And this part here, these two chambers here, these two chambers are known as atria, and we can tell that the atria is the plural of the atrium. If we talk about this chamber only, then we call it atrium. As it is in a right, so it is the right atrium, and this in the left, so it is the left atrium. And these two chambers are the ventricles, and this in the right, so it is the right ventricles, and this is in the left, so it is left ventricle. So now let's talk about the valves. These are the valves of the heart. There are two types of valves in the heart. One is atrioventricular valve, and another is semilunar valve. Atrioventricular, as these valves is in between the atrium and the ventricles, or we can say that these valves differentiate the atrium and the ventricle region. So these valves are known as atrioventricular valve. Name of this atrioventricular valve is tricuspid valve. Tricusp. Because of having the three cusp or leaflet, this valve is known as tricuspid valve. As you can see here, 1, 2 and 3. And this valve is known as bicuspid valve. Because of having two cusp or leaflet, this valve is known as bicuspid valve. So there are two atrioventricular valves, and another is semilunar valve. Because of having the half moon shape, these valves are known as semilunar valve. This valve and these two valves are the semilunar valves. The name of this semilunar valve is the pulmonary valve, from where the deoxygenated blood will go towards the lungs, and this valve's name is known as aortic valve. So there are two semilunar valve. Another part here, you can see this part which divides the ventricles, as well as behind this part it divides the atrium. So this is the part which divides the right and the left part of the heart. So this part which differentiate the right and left is known as cardiac septum. Cardiac means heart, and the septum means the tissues separating the right and the left part of the heart. As we discussed about the parts of heart, let's move towards the layers of the heart here. Layers of the heart. As you can see, let's start from the outermost layer of the heart. The outermost layer of heart is known as pericardium. And the pericardium is further divided into two layers. One is fibrous layer and another is serous layer. Fibrous layer, another is serous layer. This pink color part here, this part is the fibrous layer. Fibrous layer, and you can see this part is the pericardium. Pericardium. And you can see here the heart is in the lap of this pericardium. The functions of the fibrous layer is it prevent the overstretching of the heart, as the heart is in the lap of this fibrous layer. So this fibrous layer protect the heart as well as it prevent the heart from the injury. So another is the serous layer. Serous layer is also divided into two parts. One is the parietal layer, and another is the visceral layer. Visceral layer. Parietal layer, the layer which is attached, which is lined with this fibrous layer, it is the parietal layer. This is parietal layer as it is lined with the fibrous layer. And visceral layer, the layer which is attached with the myocardium, this this orange color here, this is the visceral layer. Visceral layer, it is attached with the myocardium, and this part is the myocardium, which we will discuss later. And there is a space between the parietal and the visceral layer, and this space is known as pericardial space. Pericardial space. And the fluids are secreted through the serous layers in this space. So the name of the fluid is the pericardial fluid. Cardial fluid. There is about 15 to 50 ml of pericardial fluids in our heart. And the main functions of this pericardial fluid is it reduces the friction so that there will be the smooth contraction and the relaxation of the heart. So we discussed about the pericardium here. Another layer is the myocardium. This layer is the myocardium. Myocardium, it is the muscular layer. It is the muscular layer which is made up of special kind of the muscles. It is made up of the striated and specialized kind of the muscles as the cardiac muscles, which is only found in the heart, and it is the middle layer of the heart, and this cardiac muscle help for the contraction and relaxation of the heart. Whenever there is contraction, the blood will ejected from the aorta here, and from the upper and the lower branch of the aorta, and it is distributed throughout the different part of the body. So the myocardium play a vital role for the contractions and relaxations of the heart. And another thing is, as you can look at the heart here, the right and the left side of the heart. The right side of the heart where the myocardium is thin, and the left where the myocardium is thick. It is because the right side of the myocardium has to pump the blood to reach to the lungs, whereas the left myocardium has to pump the blood and it should be distributed throughout the whole part of the body. So it should have a strong pump. So because of that reason, left myocardium is thicker in comparison with the right myocardium. So we discuss about the myocardium. It is the middle layer and it is the muscular layer, and you can also memorize it by the 3M here: myocardium, middle layer, and the muscular layer. Middle and the muscular. Another layer is another things that I would like to tell about the myocardium. Coronary artery supply the blood to the myocardium here, the right and the left coronary artery. This is the coronary artery, which is the first branch of the artery to supply blood to the heart. And another layer is the endocardium. This is the endocardium here. These are the inner layer of the heart which line the inner structures of the heart. It line the valves of the heart, and it is the vascular layers where there is smooth circulations of the blood, and it is made up of the single epithelium layer, and this layer is the endocardium. So in this video we talk about the three layers. One is the pericardium, which is the outer layer. Another is the myocardium, middle layer, and another is the endocardium, inner layer. And pericardium, if there is infections and inflammations of the pericardium, then it is known as pericarditis. Infections and inflammations of the myocardium is myocarditis, and the infections and inflammations of the endocardium is known as endocarditis. Endocarditis. So another thing that I would like to add here is the visceral layer. The visceral layer is also known as the epicardium. So in this videos we talk about the superficial anatomy of the heart. Hope this videos is helpful for you. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe so that you will be updated for the further of these videos. Thank you very much and see you soon in the next video.